As of last week, WWE's internal match order for WrestleMania 40 had Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley's Women's World Title match opening night 1, and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre's World Title match opening night 2. That Pro Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer, who reminded us that plans could change. Up until this point, I thought that Rollins and Drew were going to be having... I don't know if it was going to be I thought it was going to be a night 1 closer. Either way, I thought that it was going to happen somewhere around the end of the card, and not at the beginning. Now, I'm saying this as if it is going to happen. I'm not saying that it is going to happen, but my point is that, if it is going to be on an earlier part of the card, I don't know how, but I feel like this will change things. Because, okay, I just need you to follow me here. If it's later on in the card, right, I feel like shenanigans can take place. But if it's earlier in the card, then it's less time for shenanigans to take place, unless everything is like mapped out, because why wouldn't they have time planned for like a segment? You know what I mean? I feel like if it's later on in the card, all the other matches are pretty much done, and I feel like you would have more time to do stuff around the end than you would in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning you got to make sure that everything's on time for the end, so that the end doesn't get rushed, right? Am I talking crazy? Someone said that I sound like a 24-year-old Charlie Day, which I thought was incredible. Anyway, I just needed to say that. Shout out to them, by the way. Anyway, but again, it's not like it's actually going to happen, but the main crux of my argument is like, if it is early in the card, and this could be literally nothing, but if it is early in the card, it makes you feel like nothing's going to happen, right? And not with Ripley and Lynch. That seems like it's just going to be a one-on-one type deal. I'm talking about Rollins, Drew, and Punk, because Punk's getting involved, and I don't know why Punk would be on commentary if he's not going to do anything. So if it's happening later on in the card, it makes me feel like Punk is going to do something, but he could do it early on in the card. I don't even 100% know. That's just off of the fact. That's off of the assumption that it even happens early on in the card. So if it does, we'll have to see if something crazy happens. Sticking with WWE, concern about a possible Joe Gacy concussion led to his match with Obafemi on the April 2nd NXT being declared a no contest per Fightful's Corey Brennan. Gacy made it backstage on his own and was checked by medical before the scene setting up his stand and deliver match with Shawn Spears went ahead as planned. As soon as it happened, I was watching it on my phone. And as soon as it happened, I left out of the browser and I went to a different tab and I immediately typed in Joe Gacy injury. So he's good. He's okay. Obviously, he was able to continue, which is good. I read ahead and everything. I spoiled myself and everything just to make sure that he was okay. And I'm glad. So with all that being said, they are really pushing Joe Gacy, because he was at Vengeance Day and he lost, and then he had his whole rivalry with Dijak, and he lost that, but he's still floating around, and now he's getting involved with Shawn Spears, and even before that, he was like, messing around with Gallus and everything. So like, not only has he found this new character, right, but he's really taken it to a new level, right, in a good way, and he's also, been a mainstay on TV, and my main point is that, like, they're really pushing him, and this bodes well for him in the future, and I'm happy about this, right? And lately, WWE has been doing a very good job of factions splitting up and individually branching off and becoming their own, people, like Josh Briggs and stuff like that, and even Ridge and Brooks, right? Brooks Jensen? God, man, I get them mixed up literally all the time. But they're doing a really good job with that. And Joe Gacy is a very good example. And the fact that he has a match on Stand and Deliver is a very, very good sign, So definitely keep your eye on Joe Gacy going forward. I mean, if you haven't already, I definitely have. So, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that he's fine with the concussion. I'm glad that they stopped it. Thank God that, we're definitely, doing more of that in the near future. And, man, all in all, I can't really wait to see what they do with Joe Gacy in the future. Next, Fightful Select says Jade Cargil had her presentation tweet just a bit before her big debut on SmackDown proper to distinguish her from The Rock, what with the electricity theme and whatnot. So she came out and she attacked Damage Control and she made the save. Man, it took her a grand old time, by the way, against on Damage Control with Naomi and Bianca. And my takeaway from this is that I would like this to develop. I don't think that it is. Probably not. It doesn't seem like it is, but if they were going to go down this road, it would not be a bad road to go down. I could definitely see a very prosperous faction, right, building up from this. And if this is the start, right, the framework to something like that, then I'm incredibly excited. I don't know how it will go, you know what I mean? I don't know how long it will be, and I don't know what it will entail, you know what I mean? But the seeds of what could potentially be, just off the bat, you know what I mean, are very enticing. And I know that, especially from just a simple interaction like this, you know what I mean, that technically didn't really even involve Jade Cargil, to be honest with you, is definitely reaching from my perspective. But you know what? I'm optimistic, and there's another word that I want to pluck, but I don't know what it is. But the point I'm trying to make is that something like this definitely should really, I feel like it should be thought about. At the very least, it should be considered, you know, some type of faction between Jade Cargil, Bianca, and Naomi. It seems like I mean, man, heel face, you know what I mean? They could definitely do that. That would be a very nice direction change for Bianca, especially, right? So there's a lot of different ways you could go with that type of gimmick. I don't know if they're going to do it. Again, this could be a one-off, but if not, then I'm looking forward to what they'll do. Finally, Roxanne Perez has generated buzz behind the scenes at WWE, but there are some in NXT who would like her to stick around to continue fleshing out her heel character known as Fightful. Roxanne's new character has been incredible, and I think it's been a breath of fresh air for both the crowd and for Roxanne as a whole, because I think just before this character happened, the crowd was getting just a little bit stale of Roxanne, so I think it was perfect timing. I don't know if it was on purpose, on accident, either way, you know, this is her now, and I like it. I think it fits her well. I think she's doing a fantastic job with it, you know what I mean? I think that she's very comfortable playing this character, and I think the rivalry, you know, between her and Lyra is going really well, and her motivations and everything are really good. I agree with the fleshed out thing. I think her character is good. I think she just needs a little bit more, like, legitimate wins and legitimate rivalries under her belt. I think right now, you know, now this is nothing against her. I think just if I could label her character right now, I feel like it's all bark, no bite. I think that she needs to be I think she needs to be just a little bit more, like, ruthless, a little bit more aggressive, which she has with the arm, which is true, she has with breaking the arm and everything like that. But I think a few more matches, you know, and maybe, like, I don't know, because, you know, she's got the match in Stand and Deliver, so I don't know. That's a story. Because it all really depends on what she does with her character, whether she wins or loses after the match. I think once we see where her character goes after that, then the conversation will be able to be, like, stretched out a little bit more, because right now, you know, I would say she's still in the beginning. I personally feel like she's still in the beginning stages of her character. I feel like she's, like I said, how comfortable she is with it. She's, you know, picking it up a lot faster, but like I said, I feel like a couple more wins and some more like devastating, like, post-match beatdowns, you know, will really, like, help the character. But that's just my opinion. Overall, though, love her. Think she's doing great. So, can't wait to see what she does at Stand and Deliver. What do we talk about? Alright, so, there's a potential chance that they will move Ripley, Lynch, and Rollins Drew around the card. And there's a potential chance that Rollins Drew, Ripley, Lynch could open both Night 1 and Night 2. And now I could be 100% wrong, and to be honest with you, I'm not really pulling this from anywhere, but my feeling is that if it's earlier on the card, no shenanigans. Later on the card, more likely to be shenanigans. So, I don't know. Again, I could be wrong. I'm glad to know that Gase is okay. I was actually very concerned. So, he was actually hurt. Like, that wasn't part of it. He was actually hurt. But I am glad to know that he is okay. And I love him. And so does WWE from the looks of it. So, hopefully that bodes well in the near future for him. Okay. Cargil had her presentation tweaked. Listen, that's all fine and dandy. Is she going to start a faction with Naomi and Bianca? who's really to say? Way too early, at least, from what I can see right now, to tell what the hell's going on. So we'll always wait and see if that ends up, percolating, right? And Roxanne Perez has generated buzz. Good to know, right? Love Roxanne Perez. Love the new character. Everyone else loves the new character. Again, I agree with her, sticking around NXT to flesh out her character. Nothing against that. Again, I love her. I love her character. That is why I would like her to stick around and flesh out her character. Get it more refined, right? More structured, so that when you move to the main roster, nothing to worry about. Easy peasy. Fit right in, folks. On that note, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs! Big hugs all around.